All right, welcome everybody. This is another refresher. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to try to go over some sort of risk management, like like how you're managing risk as price goes in drawdowns and basically stuff like that. Basically, the like the techniques we use every day to manage risk. Let's say if a position goes in drawdown or it's going in a loss, how you're really keeping your losses small. So we're going to try to focus on that. So first of all, we're gonna get like a random date over here. So we're gonna choose 10 dates. We're gonna go from March 2019 till August 2020. Let's do this 29th. We're only gonna look at Sundays. Probably gonna do something from 2020 this time. So let's see. Okay, so we got these dates. We have some 2020s, we have some 2019s, we have June, October, December, May, January 2019. Let's do January 2020. 19th January 2020. Okay, I guess everyone's good with that. 19th January is 19th January 2020. December 15th to pick the low volume of Christmas. No, we're not going to choose December 15th because we want volume, right? So that's why we're going to go with 19th January 2020. Okay, I'll go to new simulation. And from here, we're going to choose GPGPY. Let's go to 18th January 2020. It's going to be in pounds. Starting balance is going to be around, let's start with 8,000. Let's start with 8,000. Stick to New York close. Leverage. It's going to be regular leverage. Oh, someone said 5,000. Oh, yeah, let's start with 5,000. Spread is going to be real spread. Past history is going to be 150 days. And we shall start simulation here. Now we'll have to load up the charts. Daily, 4 hour. Oh, don't need the 5 minutes. Okay, perfect. Then we gotta open the charts one. Oh wow, super bright, man. This is super duper bright first thing in the morning here. Okay, let's get our naked charts over here. We got the weekly, we got the daily, we got the 4 hour. These simulations are pretty nice now because I can just use them for my own practice. And they really help. Like, I mean, when I first started doing simulations, it was like you have to keep an eye on the time because very easily, like as the simulation is running, you can really lose track of time, like lose track of time in a sense that, like, lose track of time within the market. Like right now, we're looking at the time. This is 000. 000 is usually 5 p.m. And as we're looking at the market right now, as we're looking at the charts, we see that there's a gap over here, right? So let's just bring our toolbars on. Line studies. Okay, perfect. That's all what we need. So basically, there's a gap. We have a gap here. Gaps happen when prices moving over the weekend, which we cannot see. So all the candles you see right now, all these candles you see, these are candles printed by the broker because the broker is getting information from the market. This gap, this is happening behind the scenes when the broker is closed. So when market opens, broker gets the first price. Let's say the price is 143.019, and they're like, okay, you know what? That's what we're going to display to you, 143.019, because all these prices to the right hand side, we didn't get these prices from the market, right? That's why gaps happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our New York session here. So we're going to go to the 1 hour chart. We're going to forward this to the pre-New York. This is London Open. You can see the time. This is 1000 hours. 1000 hours is 3 a.m. Right? 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6. 6 a.m. Eastern. So let's take a look at the weekly here. So we're going to do some high time frame to low time frame breakdown here. So looking at the weekly, before we do that, let's just do this. so that it's much easier to look at the candles. Let's do that on all time frames here, especially 4-hour scale fix. You know, if MetaTrader had the functionality of TradingView, the way you can like view charts in TradingView, man, that would be so easy. No one would use TradingView anymore. Everyone would use MetaTrader. But MetaTrader, I think, predominantly was made to like for executions and not for like, you know, beautiful chart work. All right. Weekly is obviously, you know, like we're going bullish over here. This previous weekly candle was bullish. This weekly candle is just forming. So it just seems like there's a resistance here, but let's take a look at the daily and see what's going on. So looking at the daily candles, let's just do scale fix over here as well. So we're trying to figure out what the bias is going to be here, right? Like just by looking at the daily here. So daily seems like we rejected a resistance up over here, and there was a support down here. This daily candle is kind of like doji. The history here on the candles doesn't really tell us what the bias is, except for the fact that, well, you can say that, okay, maybe, you know, these higher lows here, this means the bias is up, but we have to see what the intersession bias is, right? So there are two types of biases. I've been looking into this. The first bias is your overall trend bias, which is like, you know, the way you say, okay, we're making higher lows and higher highs, like with the market structure. And the second bias is the session bias. So we have to take a look at what the session bias is. So let's take a look on the 4-hour here now, right? So looking at the 4-hour, it seems like we created some sort of a resistance over here on the 4-hour. And then what's Bilal trying to do over here? Bilal is trying to draw some lines. I can see that. All right, so we're just gonna remove these lines here. And we're gonna disable participant annotations. Because Bilal, I can see your name. I can see your name and you're drawing the lines. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So we got the resistance up over there, and supposedly maybe some sort of a support down over here. We're not really sure. So let's take a look on the 1-hour here now. Let's go towards the 1-hour. Let's just clone these over to the 1-hour time frame. Clone them over to the 1-hour. Go to the 1-hour. So there we go. We got our resistance on the 1-hour, and so far I think this is some sort of a support we have on the 1-hour time frame. So if we measure this range, this is a 40 pip range. This 1-hour candle is closing in a way that is like we're not really sure if it's going to go up or down. So let's go down to the 30-minute time frame and let's see what more information we can find. Now, looking at the 30-minute time frame, it does seem like that the next 30-minute candle can indeed continue moving bullish, right? And if you look at it, it just like, you know, it created like some sort of a support down over here, and now it's trying to continue moving up to fill this wick and eventually coming up towards 143, 198, I would say. So we're gonna go to 1-hour time frame, and yeah, I guess it does seem like we should be continuing up over here, because like, you know, now if we kind of like adjust these zones, we can kind of see that this candle, where's my arrow? Gotta bring my arrow, right? So basically we had support down here, price went up. This is where the market opened in the Asian session, right? Market opened over here. No, actually it opened down over here and it moved up. So this was some sort of a support. So when price moved up, and then you have in pre New York, you have a candle closing up over here with no wick at the top. This means there's no range for next candle to go up. You get the next candle closing above over here, and then you get this 30-minute candle closing like a nice bullish candle, you know, like kind of saying that, okay, we should be continuing moving bullish. So I think that's going to be a good trade idea right now from the get-go. So we're probably going to execute on a trade over here. Seems like it's a pretty good idea to take a buy. So our stop is going to be around 6 pips, 6 pips stop, and we're anticipating price to come into this liquidity area, which is going to be around like 15, 16 pips. So what we're going to do is we're going to risk percentage. We're going to go with like 2% risk. Our stop is going to be like, yeah, let's put it like 7 pips. take a buy. And yeah, so I guess we're probably anticipating price to continue moving bullish over here, right? The stop is kept below the 30-minute candle and we're expecting it to continue going up. We have a clean candle here to the left. So when we get towards, like 10 pips around 143, 180, I think that's where it's going to be a good idea to secure positions. Yeah, we're going to wait for it to run up a little bit. Oh, very nice. It's moving bullish. Let's take a look at our trades. We are running at 9 pips. See, now my one rule is I'm only going to put stops at break even when I'm looking to secure positions, right? So whenever I'm securing positions, that's where I'm putting my stops at break even. So look at this. So we're running at about 10.7 pips. So I'm going to close partials at this point. Maybe I'm going to close 80% at this point, and then I'm going to put my stops to break even. Whenever price, so I see this mistake people make, and the mistake is like whenever price goes into like 6 pip profit or like 7 pip profits, guys put stops at break even, but they're not securing positions, and then price comes down and it stops you out. My rule is if I'm going to secure positions, no, if my price gets to 10 pips, I'm going to secure positions. But if it's not at 10 pips, then I'm just managing the trade. Because let's say if I was hovering at like 8 pips, 7 pips, and if it came down to my entry point, then I'm basically closing partials because I'm not really expecting that to happen, right? So I'm closing partials, I'm really managing the trade. So not too much relevant, but when you put break even, do you take into account commissions or not? No, I don't take into account that. Like when I see my pip counter go to like 10 pips, 11 pips, I just secure positions. All right, so 30-minute candle closed. This candle is still coming up. We're looking at the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour is coming up towards this resistance area right over here. So let's go towards the next 30-minute candle and see how it closes. Oh, 30-minute candle, 1 hour candle closed. It went all the way up over here. So now let's take a look at the 30-minute. Yeah, 30-minute came up to this area where we had rejection there before. So I guess as price was coming up, we'll probably would have had to close positions here. So probably going to close another 50% and yeah, let the rest run. So this was one trade for the day. This was Monday. This is 7 a.m. Eastern at this point. So you see how price is coming down now? You see how this candle is breaking the low of the previous candle? So let's say if we were in a trade and price came and broke below the low. As it broke below the low of the 30-minute time frame, at this point, I'd be closing another 50% and securing positions because as price is retracing, there's a very high chance it may continue down to our break even and stop us out. When 30-minute candle close without wick on top, should you close position on that? That's totally up to you, right? That's totally up to you. If you think it's closing with no wick on the top and you think price can come down, then mainly you're closing partials to secure positions. So let's take a look at the next 30-minute candle and see how it closes. So, oh wow, look at that. Came all the way down. Didn't really stop us out. And this is the New York Open right now. So just by looking at this, what seems like happening is that price came up, it created a high, came down. So if it creates some sort of a support, I think that's going to be a good idea for price to continue moving bullish if it creates a support, right? I hope we all can agree with that we moved up, came down, so if support is formed, we may continue moving bullish. Let's take a look at on the 15-minute time frame. So I'm trying to see if we can take a second entry at this point. So looking at the 15-minute, we would need a support formed. So let's play it and let's take a look how New York Open is going forward. So it seems like it's coming further down, but we cannot take a buy at this point. Either it closes bullish or the 15-minute gives us some sort of a confirmation, right? Now, here's the thing. Someone can look around and say, hey, like, you know what, there are a lot of wicks here on the 15-minute time frame. Aren't you afraid of these wicks? The thing is, we're looking at the 30-minute time frame, right? On the 30-minute, it just seems clean because if this 30-minute candle closes bullish, there's a high chance for the next one to continue going up. At that point, we're not really concerned about what the 15-minute has over here, what the 15-minute has over here, because we're expecting the higher time frame to play out, right? So sometimes, we don't get any confirmations or we don't get any entries, just like right over here on the 30-minute time frame, right? At this stage, there was basically no entry at all because as price came up, there's a resistance over here, so we don't know whether price is gonna reject it, react to it, or what it's gonna do. Even looking at the 15-minute, it was pretty dirty. So we took one trade. There was just one trade we took. It was like around 10 pips, did about 3%. So let's move on to the next session here. Not really getting a chance to showcase some risk management. Oh wow, look at that. The runner got stopped out. Okay, awesome, no problem. Let's go towards the next New York Open here, and this is, wow, look at price move. This is 3 a.m., 4, 5, oh wow, look at that. 6 a.m. Eastern. This is 6 a.m. Eastern. Looking at the weekly. Weekly is bullish at this point. Let's take a look at the daily here. Okay, let's take a look. Now, daily is pretty interesting at this point, right? So if we look at the daily seems like it's creating some sort of a support for price to continue moving bullish. I hope we all can agree with that we have a high over here, price came down, daily candle closed bullish, and this candle is moving up, so it could continue moving on. This is based on the high time frame bias. So let's take a look at the intercession bias here. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. 4-hour basically moved up. 4-hour broke above a resistance at 143.320. This 4-hour candle is bullish. If we think 4-hour candle is going to continue moving bullish, it needs to create some sort of support on the smaller time frame for price to continue moving up because we have these clean candles right here on the right hand side, left hand side. So let's take a look on the 1-hour time frame here now. Looking at the 1-hour, we do have price moving up a little bit. We have candle closing bullish. We look at the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute candle has also closed bullish. Let's take a look here. Let's readjust this zone. Delete it. And what we're trying to see is that once this candle moved up, what was the most recent resistance area this candle broke, right? That's what we're trying to see. So this was the first resistance area right over here, which matches up with these areas here to the left-hand side. We're like, okay, perfect, it broke it, awesome. The second one is right over here. This resistance area to the left hand side. This was the second one it broke. So if it broke it, seems like it's doing some sort of a retest to possibly continue up. And if it does continue going up, I think a really good area where it may come up to would be somewhere over here, this area right over here. Now, as we expect price to continue on towards 143.77, I think there's going to be another move that we may have some issues as price comes into this area here as well. So we're going to see if we can find some sort of a support around here for price to continue moving bullish. So this is 17 pip range. We have a question here. Raja, do you go through weekly, daily, and 4-hour every day? Yep, every day. Every day I remove all my analysis. Every day I do fresh analysis on the daily, the 4-hour, 1-hour, everything. Fresh analysis, So this is what we got right now. 30-minute candle closing over here. Let's clone these zones over to the 15-minute time frame. Because if I want to take this trade, I want to take like a nice trade over here. So let's take a look at the 15-minute here now. 15-minute has a rejection here. So maybe we want to see some sort of a bullish candle closing for price to continue moving up. So that's where all our efforts are going to lie, in trying to find some sort of an entry here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Oh, look at that. 15-minute is breaking the high of the previous 15-minute candle. Now, just by looking at this, I would want to take an impulse entry at this point, and the impulse entry is only going to be on the fact that the 15-minute candle is breaking the high of the previous 15-minute candle in a very strong trend, right? So if we look on the 1 hour time frame, this is a very strong trend, right? It's trending up very viciously. If this is GJ, we know sometimes GJ does not do a retest. Sometimes, like people get confused, like, okay, when is the right time to execute an impulse entry on the 15-minute time frame? The best time to execute an impulse entry on the 15-minute time frame is when the market is trending viciously, just like right over here, right? So right here, we're breaking the high of the 15-minute time frame. Now, the 15-minute is a weak confirmation time frame. It's only used when market is trending very, very strongly. So right here, market is trending up. We're breaking above the high. Probably stop is going to be like another, 7 pips. Just to modify the stop loss, bring it down over here. Now, the point where not to use 15-minute break confirmations is when market is consolidating, right? If this was consolidation and you're waiting for the price to break above the high on the 15-minute, then it will be very, very risky, right? Because market is ranging, we're not really sure what's going on. But at that point, you're looking at the 30-minute confirmations. So we took this entry as the candle was breaking the 15-minute time frame here for it to continue moving bullish. So let's see where it goes. If trading across multiple sessions, would you advise clear charts and start fresh analysis? Yes. I would also not advise to trade multiple sessions. I would only advise to trade just one session, right? So this candle is still open. We're up to like 6 minutes. We're approaching our first zone at this point. This is at 143. Okay, so we're at about 11, 12 pips. I'm gonna close 80% at this point and put stops at break even. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame here. Ooh, 30-minute went straight up. Will it go straight to 143.770? Was there news over here? Let's take a look at news here. There was no news. Past events, yeah, there was no news. We had some good news on the pound, but that's about it. Now walking in, we have CAD CPI and nothing else. Is anyone lagging? Oh, we got a lagging problem. We got a problem with lagging. All right, perfect. See now, price is just moving straight bullish at this point. Wasn't it a little bit riskier as it broke it in the first 5 minutes of the hour? Yes. Yes, it was riskier. So at this point, price is moving bullish. Let's say someone didn't really get into a trade. So we're probably going to, at this point, wait for some sort of a retracement, maybe some sort of a support formed for price to continue moving up. So now we're going to actively look for that, for price to create some sort of support. So let's just wait to see how this 30-minute candle closes. Because if price is moving up, it needs to create some sort of a, like pullback, create some sort of support, and then take an entry with some more solid confirmations. So, okay. So 30-minute candle has just started. We're just waiting for the 30-minute candle to come down and create some sort of a support. If you do form support, I think that's going to be a pretty good idea. Let's just move it faster a little bit. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. 15-minute is also a type of consolidating. We have the 30-minute candle close coming in. So notice how I'm waiting for the 30-minute to close. I'm not waiting for the 15-minute. I'm not waiting for 15-minute to form some sort of a support. I'm just waiting to see if we're going to pull back on the 30-minute and create some sort of a support to take a second entry or not. So here we are. Now, this is where the 15-minute breaking the high over here would not work better because we have the 1 hour candle that's about to close, right? 1 hour candle is about to close. So, okay, let's say, for example, okay, let's just go back 1 15-minute candle. And what I'm going to do is, let's go down over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an entry as we break above the high over here. And then we're going to go over how we will manage risk at that point. Right, so candles forming. Price is kind of like retracing, and we're coming up to the close. 15-minute candle it broke the high at this point. Now 15-minute candle broke the high at this point, and let's say someone, for example, took a buy here, right? So stop is going to be around, let's say 9 pips. So we're going to go with 1%, because now we're looking to add positions, right? We're looking to add positions for a continuation, and where can we continue on to? We look left, so probably we're going to continue on to this area right over here, right? So that's what we're expecting. So we're going to take a buy over here. It's going to be like a small position here. So executed a buy. Stop is below the previous 15-minute candle. Let's just modify it like this. Bring it down over here. Perfect. Awesome. So we've executed a buy at this point. And as price now look what happened here, right? So price went in profits a little bit. Price went in profits for what? Like 4 pips, 5 pips, almost 4.4 pips, right? So if we look at the 30-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame closed bullish. So we can say, okay, as long as this 30-minute candle stays above the low of the previous one, we should continue moving up, right? So if we go down to 15-minute time frame, it kind of makes sense too. But now, since we're not running in profits, since price is at break even, we have to manage our trade at this point, right? Even though price is moving up, it's moving in profits, but let's see here, right? So now from profits, if it comes back down to my entry, see this right over here? So we moved in about like 7 to 8 pip profits. We didn't really move in about 10 pips or 11 pips. It moved in 8 pip profits, came down to my entry. So at this point, I'm closing 50%. Because now when price goes in drawdown, I don't want the whole position to go in drawdown. I want like a partial position to go in drawdown, right? So you have to be very, very safe at this point. So I'm closing 50% at this point, and I'm just letting the rest run. I'm waiting for the 15-minute to form. See this? So, okay, let's go back one 15-minute candle here, right? So this 15-minute candle has closed bullish at this point. If the next 15-minute candle breaks the low over here, then we're closing another 50%. So check this out. We broke the low, closing another 50%. Staying very impatient with losses. Close 50% and letting the rest run. We have the same stop loss down over here, right? So candle's coming down. It's forming. Still got some time left for this candle to close. So this candle's closing. Candle closed bearish. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. 30-minute also closed bearish. So when this 30-minute candle has closed bearish, this means that price might do some sort of a move down to retest and then continue heading up. So now you should be asking yourself, is this the position which you need to hold? Or you should be closing this position? Close it. Exactly. Close it, because if this is going to be a retest, you can get another confirmation to enter a buy and get like a better position, right? So we're going to close it. So this is a good example of being impatient with your losses. So someone asked a question over here. Question is, please don't ask private questions. That's my biggest pet peeve. Ask questions publicly, because this is a public webinar. So let's keep the questions public. If the position did not go bullish and started to come down, what would you do? We close 50%. All right, so let's just wait. We're coming down, retracing, 30-minute candle starting. So we need some sort of a support forming at this point. Yeah, we need some sort of a support forming for price to continue moving up. So the previous candle is bearish, so we're just kind of like, at this point, we're just waiting for some sort of a support formation. Oh, wow, look at that. What's this? What about the 1 hour starting? Can you discuss further that scenario? Would you be also careful? Listen, guys, there are a lot of questions coming in. I don't know what to talk about the 1 hour, because the 1 hour is just starting right now. So we're looking for a support forming on the 30-minute time frame. Trend is bullish, right? We're making a high over here. Obviously, we made a high. Price is coming down, waiting for a support form. That's the only thing I'm looking at. I'm not concerned about the 4 hour. I'm not concerned about the 1 hour. I'm only concerned about how price can create a support so we can take a buy and price can continue up to retest this high. That's it. Very simple, very straightforward. Do you close or manage any risk on your runner or just your second entry? Just the second entry. Would you also be careful in 4-hour openings? 4 hours not opening right now. Why do you think this is second entry on 15 minutes is worse than the 15? I think the second entry was bad because, yeah, I'm just going to mute right here because it's just disturbing the whole thing right here. So write down your questions and then we're going to go over the questions later on. All right, so we're just waiting for a support to be formed at this point. This entry over here was risky because price has already moved up. Price had already moved up, so this was a test position. This wasn't a serious position. It was a test position to showcase how to manage risk, right? So now prices came down. We're looking for some sort of a support to be formed. And if we get a support formed, possibly we can take a buy for price to continue moving up. So we're going to wait and see over here if we can get a support formed for price to continue moving up. Oh, 15-minute is breaking the high over here. Looking at the 30-minute, I'm still not convinced with this, so probably going to wait a little bit. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Crazy. Well, I guess that was that. That was that. The runner is still running. Probably going to move the stops up over here, below the low over here. And yeah, that's it. Someone asked questions about, do you look at the 15-minute or 5-minute to manage my positions? See, even if I looked at the 15-minute or 5-minute, I would have looked at that, but I didn't look at that. So obviously I don't use that, right? Yeah, 1 hour has just moved up. So there was no way to enter a position here. Could we have taken the trade? No, there was no way to enter a position. If there was, I would have entered it. But yeah, I guess that was the only trade for this one here. Now we have a lot of room here to the left hand side, so probably would want another support to be formed for price to move up. But at this stage, we're moving into the new 4-hour candle. If you look at the 4-hour candle, 4-hour candle is continuing bullish, and I think if it's going to continue bullish, this is the area where it can come up to very easily. So this is the start of the new 4-hour candle. This is the start of the new 1-hour candle. 1 hour is bullish. We have clean traffic here to the left-hand side. This is 9 a.m. Eastern, by the way. We're looking at the 30-minute. 30-minute is also moving bullish. It's showing no signs of a retracement here. So, I mean, it's just going to get really difficult here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. 15-minute candle is also moving up. It just seems like we can continue up to fill this wick. There's not enough range, so can't take a buy here either. Wow, look at that retracement. So maybe this whole area becomes our this is the fresh area now. So that becomes our retest area for price to potentially move up. Oh wow, look at that. 30-minute candle has broken the low. This is something that reminds me of yesterday, right? On Friday, right? Where we couldn't break the high, candle closed bearish, and the guys were looking for sells, and 30-minute broke the low over here. It just seems like it can continue down, falling here. Obviously, we're not going to take this sell, but we're just going to see if it does happen. If it happens, then we're like, okay, well, it made sense. And then we're going to move on to the next session here. So we still got some time left for this candle to close. Oh, wow, look at that. It's yeah, very nice. Beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the next session here now. Oh, next candle's moved further down. Our runner got stopped out. We're up at like 5.85% for the week so far. So let's take a look at the next New York session. Oh wow, it moved all the way down. So this is London Open. London Open. This is 4 a.m., 5, 6 a.m. We are moving into 6 a.m. Eastern. First thing is first. Gonna remove everything from here. Gonna remove everything from over here and over here as well. How do you get this object list? Control B, okay. Control B, delete. 15, Control B, delete. Okay, so we're moving into, what's this day? We're moving into Wednesday. Wednesday is usually a very high volume day. Weekly candle is still moving bullish. We're not really sure if it's gonna continue on or what's gonna do. So we're gonna go to the daily time frame now. So daily candle did indeed move bullish. We caught this a little bit move up. This candle is also still bullish. We're not really sure if it's going to continue on or come down. We have to look at the intercession levels. So we're going to take a look at those right now. Let's take a look on the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour, what it seems like is that maybe we created some sort of a support down here. And maybe we created some sort of a minor resistance up over here. And if price is bullish, because this bearish candle, this left a big wick at the bottom, right? So if price is bullish, it should continue up towards 143, this area right over here. 143,910. That's where it should continue moving up to. So we're going to go down to the 1-hour time frame, and we're going to take a look at the 1-hour time frame here now. So just by looking at the 1-hour, this is just straightforward, right? Just by looking at the 1-hour, this is just straightforward for price to continue moving bullish up to fill this area right over here. So there's no sells because 1-hour candle is closing bullish. This one closed bullish as well. We have a big rejection down over here. The only thing we need to look at is where is our stop loss going to be, right? So if we're expecting the 1-hour candles to continue moving up, and if we think that this new 1-hour candle should respect the low of the previous one, that's where your stop's going to be, probably like around 7-8 pips right down over here. Let's do like 8 pips right below the 1-hour low, and expecting this candle to continue moving up to fill this range and hopefully continue on. I would say continue on to right over here, and then later on, maybe by London close, we may be able to get up over here, right? So our bias is bullish, looking for buys. Let's take a look on the 30-minute here first. So let's clone it. So we're going to clone it over to the 30-minute. Looking at the 30-minute, yeah, man, 30-minute is also bullish. This is just crazy. 30-minute is showing us those confirmations too. So I guess we're going to take a buy over here. Instead of risking 2%, let's go with 2.5%. Right? Because this setup is overwhelmingly screaming that we're going to continue moving up to fill the range. So we're going to kind of risk some of our profits for the week to see, okay, let's do 2.7. So place a buy, stop below the 30-minute candle. Let's just modify this a little bit, bring it a couple of pips below the candle. And yeah, let's just anticipating price. Oh, hold on, buddy. Hold it 1 second. Slow down there a little bit. When you look for 1-hour break and retest, yes. So this was a move where price came up towards our resistance at this point. So probably going to close 80% right over here, and what's the spread? The spread is right over here. You see spread? It's 1.3 pips. It's right on your screen right here, 1.3 pips. So closed partials, moved stops to break even. Now, as price is coming up, you look to your left and you see that, okay, there was a rejection right over here. So taking a buy at this point, it makes no sense because, as price is coming up, we don't know whether price will break through this area or it will reject this and leave a wick and come back in the range or whatever. That's why it's really important, just secure positions and take what you can and just be happy you took a winning trade. See where, yeah, oh wow, look at that. We're rejecting that area now because price rejected that before, right? So yeah, it was a pretty good move over there. This is 30-minute candle. 30-minute candle is about to close. Oh, this is the close of the first 15-minute candle. 15-minute candle closed above this area, right? So if you look over here, 15-minute candle closed above. So if it's going to move up, it has to do some sort of a retracement, hopefully. Oh, we're reaching another zone at this point. So since there's no retracement and we're reaching another zone at this point, probably going to close another partial over here, close 50%. And let the rest run. So we're constantly closing positions here, right? Constantly taking profits, constantly securing positions because now we're approaching this zone and it seems like we're rejecting this area. So perfect. Now, as we're moving into the new hour, we should see some sort of a retracement for price to do like some sort of a retracement on the 30-minute, create some sort of support and then continue moving bullish. I think that's going to be great, but I don't think that's happening on GJ so far. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Thing is just moving bullish here. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is coming up. We have clean candles here to the left hand side. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour has broken above that zone there as well. It's approaching another resistance here. So I don't know, man. This candle is about to close, and once it closes, it should, give us some sort of a support for a second entry, right? Oh wow, this is crazy. So let's move our stops over here. Move our stops below the 30-minute candle, kind of like trail them, right? So we're trailing our stops at this point, probably close 50% here as well. Yeah, I was really hoping that it will give us some sort of a support for price to continue moving up, but I guess not. Oh wow, this is moving at 50 pips, probably going to close it right over here. If it moves up further, who knows? Let's just move on to the next 1 hour candle. Oh, 1 hour candle closed bullish. 1 hour candle is super, super bullish. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. I think 15-minute gave us some sort of confirmation here, but still, the prices moved a lot. This is like a strong, strong bullish move. Let's take a look on the daily. Daily has also came up all the way over here. Let's take a look on the weekly. Weekly is coming up to fill this wick here as well. Wow, crazy. We're filling this whole wick. Could have had this one swing trade to fill the wick up to like 100 pips. Okay, let's take a look at the next 1 hour candle. Oh, still moving bullish over here. 30-minute no confirmation, still moving up. Oh wow. Okay, crazy. Okay, so let's just go back and let's talk about risking here as well. So how do you zoom in over here? Okay, perfect. Zoom in. So let's say we had a candle closing like this, right? So let's take a look on the 15-minute here as well. 15-minute candle is coming down, it's closing bearish. So let's say someone's going to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a buy on the 30-minute and I'm going to place my stop below the 30-minute candle. No, actually, you know what? That's not going to be a good example because the next candle just breaks the low and starts to come down. I guess that could be an impulse entry for price to come down, but we don't want to force anything. So let's move on to the next session. Let me see if we can get some sort of confirmation here to take some sort of a buy before London close. Okay, perfect. We have a candle closing like this, right? Looking at the 30-minute, 30-minute candle is closing bullish. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. 15-minute candle is also closing bullish. This seems like this is a good idea for price to continue moving up. So what we're going to do is we're going to place a buy at this point because we're in an uptrend. Candles are closing bullish for price to continue moving up. So we're going to place a stop. Our stop is going to be like around 15 pips. This is for explanation purposes only, right? So since this is for explanation purposes, we're going to use 1% risk at this time. So we're going to take a buy position. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Let's modify our stop loss, bring it below the 15-minute candle. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is also bullish. So yeah, we should continue moving up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try to manage our risk, because now this buy is kind of risky because we're moving into London close. At the same time, we have this resistance forming at this point right over here. So for price to really continue moving up, it needs to break this resistance with the volume coming in London close, right? Looking at volume is really important. And the only reason we know there's going to be volume is because there is London close. So we're approaching that resistance. If we break it, we should continue moving up. I'm not going to take profits at this point because I'm going to we're going to work on to see if we can really manage risk. So let's say someone was in this trade and they didn't secure profits, and as price is moving, as it's coming back down to the entry point, now when you were in profits up over here, and you didn't secure profits, and when price is coming back to your entry point, at this stage, you're closing 50%. I'm always closing 50% at that point. So I'm closing 50% at this point. There we go, I close, right? Now I'm looking at the time, looking at the 15-minute, and now when I'm looking at the 15-minute, I'm looking to see that, okay, if this 15-minute candle breaks the low of the previous one, then I'm closing another 50%. Because for price to move up, we need candles to make higher highs and higher lows, right? So this 15-minute candle is forming. It's about to close in 4 minutes. It's closing, and there we go. We got the 15-minute candle close. It closed bearish. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. 30-minute closed bullish. Very good. Looking at the 1 hour. 1 hour also closed bullish. So perfect. So we're going to focus on the 30-minute at this point. Now we're expecting the 30-minute to continue bullish, right? So we're looking to see if it's going to continue bullish, or are we going to get closes on the 15-minute. So now when we're looking on the 15-minute time frame, obviously for the 30-minute candle to continue moving bullish, we need the 15-minute to move bullish, right? But it's coming down. So now we have to manage our risk at this point. So since the 15-minute candle is coming down, as it breaks the low of the previous one, we'll be managing our risk at this point. So 15-minute candle closed bearish. This is the next 15-minute candle. It's still forming. Hasn't really closed yet. And it broke the low of the previous 15-minute candle. So we're going to close another 50% right over here. Now the 30-minute candle is about to close. 30-minute candle closed. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. 30-minute closed bearish. Now it's closing side by side, so it's ranging at this point. So probably not a good idea to stay in the trade, right? Even though the 1 hour candle is open, 30-minute is just ranging here. So it basically closed back in the range as well. So it's best to just close the position and leave it. But if you really want to see how the candle is closed, let's take a look on the 1 hour here now. So let's move on to the next one. Next one right here. 1 hour candle just closed. It closed bearish. It's a good idea to just close the trade at this point, right? Really be impatient with losses. With losses, very impatient, like not have no patience with losses. So let's go to the next session here. Oh wow, look at that 4 hour candle. And this is a London Open, 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6 a.m. Eastern. We are in 6 a.m. Eastern right now. Let's take a look on the weekly. Weekly candle is still bullish. This is a Thursday. Let's take a look at the news over here. There was no news in the London session. There's some euro interest rates news coming in. So we're going to take a look at that and see how that plays out. Let's take a look on the daily. So we'll have to remove all objects here. Let's remove this. Daily candles basically broke above this resistance, and this daily candle is coming back down. So we don't know whether if it's going to close back in the range or it's going to move up. We have to look at the small time frames here. Could you show us how would you close 50% but then back onto it when it goes your way? Yeah, if that situation happens, we're going to do it. But if it doesn't happen, then I don't know, I'll try my best to explain it. All right, let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour is, let's remove all analysis here and let's just do fresh analysis at this point. So 4 hour seems like it's creating some sort of a support at this point, right? Before it created a support, it also created a resistance up over here. So if this is a support being formed and you have a 4 hour candle closing bullish, I think there's some probability that we may continue up towards, 144, 100 to fill this wick on the 4 hour. Now, if we want 4 hour to continue moving bullish, we need these confirmations on the smaller time frames here as well, right? So looking at the 1 hour time frame now, let's remove all analysis here. Let's just do fresh analysis. We have some sort of a support forming here, and we have a resistance forming up over here at this point, right? So if you want the 1 hour to go up, it needs to respect the low of the previous one, which is going to be right over here. It's going to be 15 pips, and I think 15 pips is going to be a little bit bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Looking at the 30-minute mate, what we have here is that we are creating a support, and as the 30-minute candle closed, we created a resistance over here, right? When we created resistance over here, this just seems like prices in this 20 pip range. So this is a 20 pip range here. If we break this support, now, this is a range here, right? So I would consider this as a range. Price is ranging right now. The 1 hour candle doesn't really look too good. Looking at the 30-minute has a support. We have a resistance forming. If we break this resistance, price would go up over here. Let's say our next target could be up over here, 144, 100. If price breaks support, we look left. We see where the next support was. Next support was probably, down over here in this area. So probably price can come down in this area right over here, right? So we measure our ranges here. This is a 16, 17 pip range up over here. We're in a 20 pip range. If we break below here, we have a 28 to 27 pip range. So perfect. This is the most easiest situation we can have where price is ranging. Because whenever price is ranging, we know it's going to break one way. And whichever way it's going to break, we're going to have a confirmation to enter that trade, and we will take a buy and have a good day. Right? So there's no trade at this point within this range. So when price is ranging, I'm only looking at this area right over here. I'm not concerned about the 4 hour. I'm not concerned about the 1 hour. Obviously, I'm looking at the 4 hour and I'm seeing that, okay, if this 4 hour goes down, it has to continue down to this point here. And if I look on the 1 hour, if the 1 hour breaks below, then it's coming down to this point here, which is on the 30-minute time frame. First, it's going to fill these wicks and whatever. So let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, we're coming up. We're coming up towards this resistance area. New 30-minute candle has formed. Now, this is where people may take some risky entries, right? So if we see that the 30-minute candle is closing bullish, someone might say that, okay, you know what, it's going to be a good idea to take a buy at this point and anticipate it to break this resistance to go up. The thing is, this is in a range, so we can't anticipate it to break it when it's not really breaking it. So, oh, we broke above, came down. This candle is still open. Speed it up a little bit. All right, 30-minute candle closed bearish. Now it's really ranging, right? Look at that. Look at the 1 hour. Look at the 30-minute. We're just ranging at this point. So we need some sort of a solid break below, or we need a solid break above for price to move either way. This is also about to close. Notice how 1 hour just passed, right? So this is the New York Open right now. So if we look on the 4 hour candle is about to close in an hour. We look at the 1 hour candle has closed bearish at this point, right? If we're closing bearish, this means we are creating a resistance right over here. Now, if price is going to break down, it needs to break down. But if it's going to break up, it needs to break this resistance and then continue moving up. So we're still waiting at this point now. One thing I'm looking at is how these 30-minute candles These ones here. Where's my arrow here? This 30-minute candle closed bearish. This is closing bearish, making a lower high and a lower low. This candle is also like, kind of like moving along, trying to make a lower low here as well. So we're gonna keep an eye on this here. Let's speed it up a little bit. With NY open, an impulse entry could be at pre-candle low. No, we're still in a range. If it breaks resistance here, there is a wick rejection. How to tackle that? Wait for candle to close outside or resistance. We wait for candle to close outside. Obviously, when price is ranging, we're waiting for candles to close outside, right? So this 30-minute candle is about to close. There we go. 30-minute candle closed bearish. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour candle is also bearish at this point. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour candle is also bearish. There's no sells on the 1 hour at this point because obviously we're breaking below this, but we're not closing below this, right? So whenever you see wicks here to the left hand side, this means price came down here and then it rejected. Came down, rejected, came down, rejected. So price is coming down here as well, and we're not sure if it's going to reject it or it's going to continue moving down. Now looking at the 30 minutes closing above that support, so obviously we're waiting. If it breaks outside of the range, do you have to wait for a retest, or is there any way we can take an impulse entry? We don't know yet, so we're going to find that out. We're going to see what happens. Oh, wow, look at that. Crazy, crazy GJ. So beautiful, man, this pair. Just straight rejection. Patience. Waiting is so important, man. You gotta wait and wait and wait. Wow, look at that. Look at this 15-minute here, just nasty. Let's see if we can bring it down a little bit, make it much more cleaner somewhere over here, and maybe bring this up over here as well. Zoom out. Okay, awesome. All right. This candle is about to close. Man, wow, like nothing really happened. We just ranged here for this session here. So let's just wait for this candle to close. Yeah, no trade today over here. We'll try to see if we can get a breakout over here or not. This candle is about to close in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. 30-minute candle closed. 1 hour candle closed bearish. Looking on the 4 hour, 4 hour also closed bearish at this point. Now, if the 4 hour candle breaks the low of the previous one, I think this could be a good idea to continue down, right? Looking at the 1 hour here as well, looking at the 30-minute here as well. 30-minute needs to really close below here, so let's see what happens. We're still ranging at this point so far. Oh, we're coming down. We're breaking below the low. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. 4 hour has also broken the low over here. Now, if the 4 hour has broken the low and the 30-minute is trying to break down over here, 15-minute is also breaking down, 1 hour has also broken the low over here. I think we could take an impulse entry here based on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, but for this, it's going to be a lower risk. Yeah, it's going to be like a 17 pips, so it's going to be like around 1% risk. So we're going to take a sell. 1% risk sell at this point. And we're anticipating price to continue down to the support. Oh shit. Okay, beautiful. It was only 1%, it was only 1%. It wasn't really big. So probably going to close that right over there. Did not expect that. But it came down to this our support right over here. So this was an impulse entry right here. Impulse entry, and it was made by two confluences. One confluence was the 4 hour. As it broke the low, we had this wick to fill, and once we broke the low, there was a area. Oh wow, look at that, still going. Could have came down to this area here, but we waited, right? We waited 4 hours, 3 hours basically, 3.5 hours. So it's filling the 4 hour wick down over here too. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So let's say that Let's say that someone missed this trade, right? Let's say someone missed this trade. So we're going to see how we could see if there was some sort of a confirmation on like the small time frames now where we can get some sort of a minor resistance forming for price to continue down. So let's see if we can get that type of thing happening here. So we're gonna wait for that. So let's wait for the next 30-minute candle. Next 30-minute candle closed like this. Let's wait for the next one. Next one closed bullish. Next 30-minute candle closed bullish. It closed above this support area over here, but at the same time it closed with no wick on the top. When a candle closes with no wick on the top, that basically means there's no range for the next candle to kind of like go up. Because if you see right over here, this candle had a wick to the bottom side. So you could say, okay, like, you know what, then there's a range for next candle to go down. This candle has no wick on the top. So this means there's no range for the next candle to go up. So there's a very high probability it's going to continue moving bearish. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Oh, 15-minute also closed with no wick on the top. Yeah, there was no entry, I mean, at this point for sells. If there was an entry, it was just like the stop. We had no clue where the stop is going to be. Oh, crazy, man. Look at that. If someone missed that trade, I think desperation is coming. FOMO, yes. If someone missed the trade, there's definitely FOMO. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at this, right? 30-minute candle is closing bearish, and this is giving us some sort of a confirmation that price may continue moving bearish now. So since we're moving into 1 p.m. at this point, this will not be an ideal trade to take, but this could be something of a paper trade that we can take a look at, right? So probably we're gonna take a look at that in a way that, okay, well, if it's forming like a bearish candle, then there's a high probability for the next candle to continue down to fill this range. Now, this only happens when there's volume in the market, right? When there's no volume in the market, there's a very weak confirmation that it will happen. So let's forward 1 30-minute candle and see if we do really come down to retest the low here. Probably not, right? Because the volume is low at this point. So we only do this when there's volume in the market. All right. Oh, wow. Complete retracement. All right, let's go towards our next session over here. So this is London Open. This is London Open, 3 a.m., 4, 5. Oh, what the crazy things over here, man. London session. Why is London session so wild all the time? There's no chill in London session. Man, you people who trade London session, it's just wow, man, crazy. Like sometimes things happen, you're like, oh, what's going on here? So let's take a look at this. We had some news here for the pound. We have members speaking earlier on. Yeah, I guess there was some Euro news here as well, so probably that would have moved something. So looking further now, there's no news coming in, so it could be a very easy deal. So let's take a look on the weekly here. So looking at the weekly came up to fill the wick. Now it's coming down. This is a Friday. You know, we have Freaky Friday. Let's take a look on the daily. Daily is rejecting that area. Now, can daily be moving bearish? We don't know yet. We have to look at the small time frames. Let's take a look on the 4-hour here. 4-hour, oh wow, look at that. Look at this price action, man. 4-hour went all the way up to that resistance and rejected it. And now it came down. It came down and it came down to the support area here. And now we are in this range, and this is a 43 pip range. So if we are in a 43 pip range, we have to look at the 1-hour time frame, and let's see what's going on the 1-hour time frame. Let's clone these areas over to the 1-hour time frame. Uh-oh, 1-hour is a mess here, so let's remove everything. All right. So basically, what's happening on the 1-hour is that we are creating some sort of a support at this point. We've created a support, and then at the same time, we have broken the support, right? So whenever we're looking at recent price action, we're looking to see that, okay, what's happening currently, right? Currently what's happening. So if we look on the 4 hour, 4 hour is in the range. This is a 42 pip range. Looking at the 1 hour, what's basically happened is that we before this move happened down, we created a support here, right? We created a support around Asian session, price moved up, created another support, price moved up, and then this candle started coming down. As this candle started coming down, this candle is always looking left. It looked left, saw support, it's like, okay, no problem, broke the support, came down, looked left, saw the support, and said, no problem, broke the support, came down and came down to another support. So this now turns into our resistance, and this now turns into our support. So this is our range based on the 1 hour time frame at this point. Let's clone this over to the 30-minute time frame, but before we do that, we have to remove everything from the 30-minute time frame and remove everything from the 15-minute time frame. Now notice how if you look on the 15-minute time frame, candles look much more like you have much more information here based on the candles, because this is a smaller time frame where you see more details. Let's go to the 30-minute time frame, 1 hour time frame. Let's clone everything over to the 30-minute time frame. There we go, right? So we have a nice little range. So yeah, we're just ranging at this point. If price breaks above this area, I would guess we'd be coming up to, like, this area right over here after we break above this wick. And I mean, it's pretty choppy, right? I mean, you have a price here till, like, 10 pips till 143,660 and then continue moving up. But what would happen if we break support? If we break support, I think there's a very high probability that price can continue moving down towards, back down to the support here, right after we break all this support area right down over here. So we're going to wait and see what happens here. So far, we're just ranging. This candle's coming to a close at this point. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. 30-minute is in the range. Yeah, I'm not sure. We are in a range, mate. It's a Friday here as well. We're up about 13.5% for the week. This is the new 30-minute candle. This 1 hour candle is about to close. So far, it's been 2 hours. Looking at charts, this is the New York Open. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour candle is still ranging, but it's making these lower highs and lower lows on the 1 hour. 4 hours also kind of like bearish at this point. So we're going to keep an eye on this if it starts breaking down. It's ranging at low. It's going to shoot down like crazy. I'm feeling it. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. This is the close of the 30-minute time frame. Let's take a look on the 1 hour. 1 hour is still kind of like ranging at that point. 15-minute is still ranging. This candle is about to close in 3, 2, 1. This is the close on the 4 hour. Looking at the 4 hour, 4 hour close bullish. Looking at the 1 hour, 1 hour is still ranging. Now we can probably bring our range down, and now we can make it a little bit more tighter, right? Now this is a much tighter range. Looking at the 30-minute, 30-minute is also ranging. Now we can bring this range up a little bit, make it more tighter right over here. See, now price is squeezing in on the 1 hour. Price is also squeezing in on the 30-minute. So now we're looking to see if we're going to break up or are we going to break down. So let me place my lines over here. If this is going to be the last trade we're going to take, we're going to make this a good one, right? We're going to see if we can get a nice move here coming up or down. Oh, we broke up and we came back down. Can't take any impulse entries on a Friday, right? We have to wait. We have to wait. 30-minute candle just closed. Looking at the 30-minute, 30-minute is now really, really, really ranging. And yeah, we're just focusing on the 1 hour at this point. Crazy stuff happening here. Crazy ranges. Wow. GJ is so amazing. Look at that range. Are we gonna break down? Are we gonna break up? What are you gonna do, GJ? Are you gonna break down? Are you gonna break up? Looks like we're breaking down. That candle is breaking down. So if we're breaking down at this point, 1 hour candle is also broken down. 4 hour candle is also coming down, but we needed to break the low on the 4 hour. Oh, someone is saying no. Someone is saying down. We have to wait for this candle. Oh, there we go. 30-minute candle has closed bearish. We ranged from, take a look at this. We ranged from pre-New York. We ranged into New York Open. We ranged into NYC Open. And we're moving into London close now, right? So take a look at this, right? Let's just write this down. Range. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. When did range happen? We have to understand this concept here. Range. When did we range? We ranged in pre-NY. You know, there was volume in pre-NY, but we ranged. We range NY open. There was volume, but we still ranged, right? Let's do this. And then we had NYC open. There was volume, but we ranged. Now we're moving in London Open. London Open also has volume, right? So if we're getting a candle closing over here bearish, and if the overlying thing is like, okay, if there's going to be volume at London close, it should continue down. I think this is going to be the point where it should continue moving bearish. So you know what we're going to do, since this is going to be the last trade of the simulation over here, looking at the 1 hour here as well, we have like 1 hour candle. 1 hour candle is actually breaking and closing below the previous candles, right? So if we think 1 hour candle is going to continue moving down, we're going to move on with a 10% risk over here, since it's the last day over here. We're going to go with 10% risk. And now we got to find a stop loss, right? So 1 hour, we have some confirmation we may continue moving down since it's closing below where the previous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1 hour candles couldn't close. Now we have to see where the stop loss is going to be. We can have a stop above the 30-minute candle, which is going to be like around 12 pips. We're going to take a sell and play it. And if we, okay, perfect. Coming down to fill these wicks. Come on down and fill these wicks. We're filling these wicks over here, and we're going to close partial positions at this point, put stops at break even, and let it run. Let's go London close. Good old London close volume. Holy, London close volume is coming down strong. Yeah, so probably going to close more partials over here, close like 80%. Yeah, oh my God. Oh wow, man, this is moving even further down. Didn't really expect it to move this further down. Would have held the whole thing. Moved 20 pips more after that. Let's suppose we went to the gym at this point, right, for 1 hour. So let's forward this by 1 hour. Oh, it retraced. Okay, oh wow, yeah, it kept falling down over here. So we're probably gonna close this here. Wow, it kept moving and ranging. Since we're ranging, because there's no volume, so we're ranging. Awesome. Perfect. So probably gonna open the floor for questions here, and let's see if we can get some questions here. But that was the simulation for this time here today. There was one thing I was looking at. The more we range, the more likely we will have a big move. Yes, that is true. The more we range, the bigger the move. Well, the stronger the move, the more we range. There was Let's see here. Can you discuss confirmation candles? Do you look for more than one or just depends on price action? Okay, so that is something that's discussed in the database because confirmation candles, there's a lot of things you need to look at. I think in a week or maybe in 2 weeks, we're going to open something for everyone so that, we can get those basic ideas in. I swear every time you do the last trade with a high percentage, you get a massive move. Yeah. What if after the open position, the price moved directly opposite? Would you let fully stopped or at what point you close partially if you do? So if you open a position and price goes in drawdown ASAP, then you're kind of like managing it yourself, Then you're kind of like managing it and seeing like, okay, price is coming back up to my stop loss. Do I want to close partials? Or like in those cases, you just can't do anything. Sometimes I open a trade and it gets stopped out instantly and I have no time to like, close partial positions. I recently joined. Is the database where all the materials are? Yes. So with confirmation candles, it's just one confirmation candle. So if you look on the 1 hour, this was the confirmation candle right over here. This was the confirmation candle on the 1 hour that was breaking and closing below all the other candles there to the left hand side. So then we moved down to a 30-minute time frame and we looked at where to put our stop loss and to enter. So this will be in the, I'm going to place this recording up so everyone can take a look at this recording. When drawing zones, do you always use a top-down approach? Yes, I do exactly what I did in the simulation here. So I do that every day. Do you use partial TP function on magic keys? I do preset, yes. Okay, awesome. So this was recorded and the recording is going to be up. It's going to be placed in a Google Drive as well for people who don't have access to the database yet. So take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. And yeah, just be safe. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday morning. Take care.